And in the quietest voice I've ever used, I said, "I'd kiss you, but I don't want to taste your boyfriend." She didn't deny it. She just froze. And in that silence, I realized our marriage wasn't ending in a scream. It was ending in the truth. Emotional goal, controlled heartbreak. Establish quiet strength. Create tension through stillness, not shouting. The scene opens in the kitchen just after 10 p.m. The house is quiet in that heavy way it gets when two people are avoiding something neither wants to name. The only light comes from the warm yellow fixture above the stove, casting soft shadows against the cabinets. The hum of the refrigerator fills the gaps between their movements. I'm standing at the counter, pretending to rinse a glass that's already clean. She walks in behind me. She looks beautiful, not in a dramatic way, but in the way she always has. Graceful. Composed. Her dark hair slightly loose around her shoulders, a silk blouse that falls naturally against her frame. She smells like her usual perfume, but there's something underneath it. Something sharper. Colder. Not mine. She moves close. Not rushed. Not hesitant. Familiar. Her hand slides lightly against my lower back, a touch she's used 1,000 times before. It's warm. Gentle. Automatic. The kind of touch that says we belong to each other without needing words. But tonight it feels rehearsed. I feel it before I fully think it. That tiny tightening in my chest. The quiet awareness that something doesn't sit right. She steps around me so we're face to face. Her eyes meet mine, steady at first. Searching. Measuring. "Long day?" she asks softly. Her voice is calm, almost tender. She leans in slightly, the way she always does before kissing me. I see it coming, that small tilt of her chin, her lashes lowering just a bit. And I hesitate. Not visibly. Not dramatically. Just enough. She notices. There's a flicker in her eyes, barely there. A question. She places her hand on my chest. I can feel her fingers spread slightly, like she's grounding herself against me. Her touch is familiar, intimate, practiced. The warmth of her palm seeps through my shirt. But I can still smell it. That cologne. Not mine. It's faint, but it doesn't belong in my home. She leans closer. I step back. Only half a step, but it might as well have been a mile. Her hand lingers in the space between us, suspended for a second before dropping slowly to her side. The silence stretches. The refrigerator hum grows louder. The ticking clock above the doorway suddenly feels aggressive. She gives a small, confused smile. What? I swallow. There's no yelling in me. No dramatic confrontation. Just a quiet exhaustion that's been building for weeks, late nights, sudden passwords, distracted conversations, laughter at texts she turns away to read. I look at her, really look at her. The woman I chose. The woman older than me, wiser than me, stronger in so many ways. The woman who once told me love meant choosing someone every day. My voice comes out steady. Soft. I'd kiss you, she tilts her head slightly. But I don't want to taste your boyfriend. The words hang between us like glass. Her face changes instantly. Not anger. Not outrage. Stillness. Her smile disappears. Her eyes widen, not dramatically, but enough. Her breath catches, barely audible, but I see it in the rise of her chest. Color drains from her cheeks. She doesn't speak. Her fingers twitch slightly at her sides. And in that frozen second, I realize something worse than betrayal. If she were innocent, she would have laughed. If she were shocked, she would have argued. But she doesn't. She just stands there, motionless, like someone who's just been seen. And the silence tells me everything. Emotional goal, her composure cracks. Tension thickens through closeness, not distance. For a few seconds after I say it, she doesn't breathe. Then she lets out a soft, almost disbelieving laugh. "Don't be ridiculous," she says, but the words land too quickly, too rehearsed. Like she had prepared for everything except being caught this calmly. She takes a step toward me. I don't move this time. Her hand reaches for my forearm, fingers wrapping around it gently. Her touch is warm, familiar, intimate, the same hand that has held mine in crowded rooms, that has brushed hair off my forehead when I was sick. But now there's something else in it. Pleading. "You're tired," she adds quietly. "You're imagining things." Her thumb strokes absent-mindedly against my sleeve, a soothing motion she's used on me before. It's subtle, almost maternal in its tenderness. She knows how to calm storms. She's always been steadier than me, more composed. That's part of what drew me to her, the way she seemed so sure of herself, so grounded. Tonight, that steadiness wavers. Her eyes hold mine, but not fully. They flick down for a fraction of a second. Then back up. Then away again. The kitchen feels smaller now. The air heavier. I can hear the faint ticking of the wall clock behind her. I can hear her breathing, slightly uneven, just enough that I notice. "I don't know what you think you smelled," she says, a little softer. "I was at dinner with friends." Friends. The word lingers. I nod slowly, watching her face instead of listening to her explanation. Watching the tiny delay before she answers. The way her shoulders rise just a little too high when she inhales. She steps even closer. Now we're only inches apart. I can feel the warmth of her body through the thin space between us. Her perfume wraps around me, jasmine and something darker underneath. That other scent is still there. Faint. Sharp. Wrong. She lifts her hand again, this time resting it against my jaw. The gesture is intimate, deeply so. Her fingers brush along the edge of my cheek, slow and careful, as if I'm something fragile. "Look at me," she whispers. I already am. Her skin feels cool against mine. I remember this touch from better nights, when she'd cup my face before kissing me slowly, deliberately. When her confidence felt protective instead of defensive. "You really think I would do that to you?" she asks. Her voice trembles, just slightly. That's what breaks something inside me. Not the denial. The tremble. Because she's not offended. She's afraid. I don't raise my voice. I don't pull away from her hand. I let it rest there, her thumb grazing my cheekbone like she's trying to memorize me. "I don't want to think it," I say quietly. The words are honest. Vulnerable. It costs me something to admit that. Her eyes soften for a moment, and in that softness I see her. Not the woman defending herself. Not the wife cornered by suspicion. Just her. The woman who once told me she never wanted to hurt me. She swallows. Her gaze drops to my lips, the same lips she tried to kiss minutes ago. There's hesitation there now. Distance. She steps even closer until her forehead almost touches mine. "Please," she says softly. "Don't do this." Her hand slides down from my jaw to my chest again, resting over my heart. It's beating steadily. Hers isn't. And in that small, trembling space between us, I realize something unbearable. She's not trying to prove she's innocent. She's trying to keep me from digging deeper. Emotional goal, emotional rupture. The truth surfaces not with chaos, but with surrender. The silence stretches too long. Her hand is still pressed lightly against my chest, but her confidence has drained from the gesture. It no longer feels grounding. It feels like she's holding on to something slipping away. I gently remove her hand. Not angrily. Just carefully. She watches me do it, and that's when I see it. The shift. The understanding that I'm not guessing anymore. I pull out one of the dining chairs and sit down slowly. The wood scrapes softly against the floor. The sound feels louder than it should. She remains standing for a moment. Then, as if her body finally gives in to what her mind has been fighting, she sits across from me. The warm kitchen light that once felt comforting now casts tired shadows under her eyes. Her shoulders, usually held straight with quiet elegance, curve inward slightly. Smaller. She folds her hands together on the table, fingers twisting around each other. The movement is unconscious. Nervous. I didn't, she begins, but the sentence dies halfway. Her eyes drop to the table. I don't interrupt. I don't accuse. I just wait. The refrigerator hums behind us. Somewhere outside, a car passes. Ordinary sounds in an ordinary night, except nothing feels ordinary anymore. There is someone, she finally says. The words come out soft. Not dramatic. Not defensive. Just real. It doesn't feel like a bomb going off. It feels like something collapsing quietly from the inside. My jaw tightens, but I don't look away. She keeps her gaze lowered, as if the wood grain in the table is easier to face than me. It didn't mean anything, she adds quickly. It was just attention. Conversation. I don't know. Her voice shakes now. I stand up slowly. For a split second, she flinches, as if expecting anger. Accusation. Volume. Instead, I walk around the table and kneel in front of her. The movement surprises her. Her eyes lift immediately, confused. I'm not kneeling in submission. I'm kneeling because I need to see her at eye level. Because if this is the moment everything breaks, I want to look at her when it happens. I gently place my hands over hers. Her fingers are cold. She inhales sharply at the contact. Look at me, I say quietly. It takes her a second. But she does. Her eyes are glossy now, lashes heavy with unshed tears. The confident woman I married, the one who always seemed certain, composed, a little untouchable, looks fragile in a way I've never seen before. Why? I ask. It's not accusatory. It's not loud. It's barely above a whisper. Why wasn't I enough? The question lands between us, heavier than any accusation could. Her face crumples, not dramatically, but slowly. Like something she's been holding together finally gives way. It wasn't about you, she says, and her voice breaks completely now. It wasn't. Tears spill over, tracing quiet lines down her cheeks. I lift one hand instinctively, brushing the tear away with my thumb. The gesture feels automatic, tender, even though my chest feels hollow. I never wanted to hurt you, she whispers. Her forehead dips forward until it almost touches mine. I can feel her breath against my skin, uneven and warm. For a moment, we just stay there. Two people inches apart. Years of love sitting between us. I realize then that the worst part isn't the other man. It's the distance that existed long before he showed up. And as she cries quietly in front of me, no longer denying it, I understand something devastating. The truth hurts less than the pretending did. Emotional goal, shift from betrayal to understanding. Reveal the emotional void beneath the mistake. She keeps crying for a moment, but it's not dramatic. It's quiet, controlled, almost embarrassed. The kind of crying someone does when they're used to being the strong one. I stay kneeling in front of her. My hands still cradle hers, even though part of me wonders if I should pull away. But I don't. Not yet. It wasn't about you, she repeats, softer now. It was about me. Her shoulders rise and fall slowly as she tries to steady her breathing. When she finally looks at me again, there's no defense left in her eyes. Just exhaustion. I've been feeling, she pauses, searching for the word. Invisible. The word hangs in the air. Invisible. It doesn't fit the woman I know, confident, composed, the kind of woman who walks into a room and doesn't need to demand attention because she already has it. But tonight, she looks smaller somehow. I go out with my friends, she continues, and I see the way people look at younger women. The way they're noticed without trying. She swallows. And I started wondering when that stopped happening for me. Her fingers tighten slightly around mine. It's stupid, she says quickly. I know it is. It's not stupid, I reply, my voice low. Because it isn't. I can see it now, not the affair, but the insecurity behind it. The quiet fear of fading. The subtle comparisons. The way she sometimes lingered in front of the mirror a little longer than usual. The way she'd ask casually, "Do I still look okay?" as if it were a joke. It wasn't about wanting him, she says. It was about wanting to feel wanted. There it is. Not passion. Not romance. Validation. She lets go of one of my hands and brings it to her face, covering her mouth briefly as if ashamed of her own honesty. I gently reach up and brush a loose strand of hair away from her cheek. The gesture feels natural, familiar, something I've done 100 times. She leans into it. Not seductively. Instinctively. My thumb lingers just below her cheekbone. Her skin is warm now from crying. Soft. You never faded for me, I say quietly. Her eyes close at that. I know, she whispers. That's the worst part. You've always loved me like I'm enough. The admission stings in a different way. Because it means she knew. And still. I didn't feel it in myself, she continues. And instead of telling you, I let someone else make me feel seen. The kitchen feels different now. The tension has shifted from accusation to something more fragile, understanding wrapped in pain. She opens her eyes again, searching my face like she's trying to measure how much damage she's done. I never stopped loving you, she says. I just forgot how to feel like I deserved it. That lands deeper than I expect. Her vulnerability is raw now. Stripped of pride. Stripped of the graceful control she usually carries so effortlessly. I move slightly closer, still kneeling, until our foreheads almost touch again. I can't compete with your doubts, I say softly. But I can fight them with you. Her breath trembles. And for the first time tonight, the space between us doesn't feel like a battlefield. It feels like two people standing on the same side of something broken, trying to decide if it's worth rebuilding. Emotional goal, emotional crossroads. Love remains, but trust is fractured. The decision begins to take shape. I slowly stand up from where I've been kneeling. My knees ache slightly, but I barely notice. What I feel more is the weight pressing against my chest, not anger, not even jealousy anymore. Uncertainty. I walk toward the window above the sink. Outside, the night is still. A thin mist clings to the glass, blurring the streetlights into soft halos. The world beyond our house feels distant, almost unreal. Behind me, I hear her shift in the chair. She doesn't speak. The silence now isn't sharp like before. It's fragile. I rest my palms on the edge of the counter and stare at our reflection in the dark window. We look like strangers standing in the same room. I can forgive a mistake, I say quietly, my voice steady but lower than before. I don't know if I can forgive being lied to. The words aren't thrown at her. They're laid out gently. Honestly. I hear her stand. There's a soft scrape of the chair against the floor. Then slow footsteps behind me. Measured. Hesitant. She stops a few feet away. For a moment, she doesn't touch me. I can feel her presence, the warmth of her body, the faint scent of her perfume, but she waits. That restraint hurts more than if she'd grabbed me. I was scared, she says softly. I ended it a week ago. I close my eyes. You ended it. Yes. Her voice trembles again. I knew it was wrong the moment it started. I just didn't know how to face you. Every time I looked at you, I felt worse. There's a pause. Then I feel it. Her forehead presses gently against the middle of my back. The contact is light. Careful. Like she's unsure if she's allowed to be this close anymore. Her hands follow slowly, gripping the fabric of my shirt near my sides. Not pulling me toward her, just holding on. I didn't want to lose you, she whispers against my back. But I was terrified you'd see me differently. I let out a slow breath. The warmth of her body seeps through the thin cotton of my shirt. Her fingers tighten slightly, as if she's afraid I might step away. And for a second, I almost do. Because staying means choosing something difficult. Choosing to rebuild. Choosing to live with the memory of this night. But leaving would mean walking away from years of shared mornings, shared laughter, shared quiet moments like this one. I already see you differently, I admit. Her grip falters slightly. But not in the way you think. I turn slowly in her arms. She steps back just enough to look up at me. Her eyes are red, her lashes damp, her composure completely gone. She looks younger somehow in her vulnerability, not because of age, but because she's stripped of pride. I see you as human, I continue. Flawed. Afraid. Capable of hurting me. Her lip trembles. And still the woman I love. The words hang there between us, heavy, honest. She reaches for my hand this time, intertwining her fingers with mine. The gesture is tentative, like she's testing whether I'll pull away. I don't. But I don't squeeze back either. Not yet. Because this is the hardest part, not discovering the betrayal, not hearing the confession. It's deciding whether love is strong enough to carry the weight of truth. Emotional goal, emotional peak. They confront the real cost of staying, and the courage it requires. Her fingers remain intertwined with mine, tentative but steady. I can feel the slight tremor in her grip, like she's bracing for a verdict. The kitchen feels smaller now, but not suffocating. Just intimate. Raw. I lift my free hand and gently cup her face. Not impulsively. Not passionately. Deliberately. Her skin is still warm from crying. My thumb rests just beneath her cheekbone, and she leans into the touch almost immediately, eyes fluttering closed for half a second as if she's been starving for something simple and sincere. I don't want revenge, I say quietly. Her eyes open. They search mine, cautious. I don't want to hurt you back. I don't want to keep score. My hand slides slightly, cradling her jaw more firmly now. Not to control, but to hold her steady in this moment. I want honesty, I finish. The word lands heavier than any accusation could. Her breath shakes. And this time, she doesn't try to stop the tears. They fall freely, quietly, her chest rising unevenly as she exhales. I'll give you everything, she whispers. Passwords. Location. Explanations. Whatever you need. I shake my head gently. I don't want surveillance, I say softly. I want truth. Even when it's ugly. Even when it's uncomfortable. She nods slowly, swallowing hard. For the first time tonight, her gaze doesn't waver. There's fear there, yes, but also something steadier. Resolve. I'll tell you when I'm insecure, she says. When I feel invisible. When I start doubting myself instead of pretending I'm fine. Her hand moves from mine to my chest again, resting over my heart. And I'll let you see me when I'm not strong. That lands deeply. Because she has always been the composed one. The confident one. The woman who seemed to have life figured out. Loving her sometimes meant admiring her from slightly below. Now, she stands in front of me stripped of that armor. Human. I slide my other arm around her waist and pull her gently into me. The hug isn't romantic at first. It's grounding. Her face presses into my chest, just beneath my collarbone. I feel her fingers clutch the back of my shirt, not urgently, not desperately, just holding. My chin rests lightly on the top of her head. We stay like that for several long breaths. Her body slowly relaxes against mine. The shaking eases. My own breathing, which I hadn't realized was shallow, begins to steady. In this embrace, there's no illusion. No pretending this didn't happen. Just two people choosing whether pain will divide them or deepen them. I can't promise this won't hurt for a while, I admit quietly into her hair. I know, she whispers. I'm going to have moments where I doubt. Where I remember. I'll stay, she says softly. Even when you're angry. Even when it's hard. There's strength in her voice now, not the polished confidence she wears in public, but something more honest. I pull back slightly so I can see her face. I need us to fight for this, I say. Not against each other. Against whatever made us drift. She nods, tears still tracing her cheeks, but her expression steadier. Together, she says. And in that word, together, I feel the tension crest and begin to settle. The choice isn't dramatic. It isn't cinematic. It's quiet. We're not pretending everything is fixed. We're deciding it's worth fixing. Ending type, together and secure, love rebuilt through honesty. Morning light slips through the kitchen blinds, softer than the harsh yellow glow from the night before. The house feels different, not lighter exactly, but clearer. Like a storm passed through and left everything exposed. I wake before her. For a moment, I just lie there, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. The words. The tears. The confession. The promise. It still hurts. But it feels honest. When I walk into the kitchen, she's already there. Barefoot. Wrapped in one of my old hoodies. Her hair is loosely tied back, a few strands falling around her face. She looks tired, not worn out, but humbled. She turns when she hears me. There's hesitation in her eyes. Not fear. Not shame. Permission. She doesn't move toward me right away. She just stands there, hands loosely wrapped around a mug of coffee, waiting to see what I'll do. Last night, she stepped toward me first. This morning, I close the distance. Slowly. Deliberately. I stop in front of her, close enough to feel the warmth rising from the coffee between us. She looks up at me, searching, bracing, maybe, for distance. Instead, I reach up and gently brush a loose strand of hair from her cheek. The gesture is small. Familiar. Intimate in a quiet way. Her breath catches softly. I meant what I said, I tell her. She nods. I know. There's no dramatic speech. No grand apology repeated. We already said the hardest things last night. Now it's about what we do. I place my hand lightly on her waist. Not possessive. Not claiming. Reconnecting. She sets the mug down without breaking eye contact and lets her hands rest against my chest. This time, her touch feels different, not practiced, not distracting. Present. I don't expect you to trust me overnight, she says quietly. I don't, I reply. There's honesty in that. But there's something else too, willingness. I lean down and press a gentle kiss to her forehead first. She exhales slowly, eyes closing. Then her cheek. Soft. Lingering. And finally, I kiss her lips. It's not urgent. Not hungry. Not the kind of kiss that erases what happened. It's steady. Intentional. Her fingers tighten slightly against my shirt as she leans into it, not out of guilt, not out of fear, but out of choice. When I pull back, I rest my forehead lightly against hers. I don't taste anyone else, I whisper. A tear slips down her cheek, but she's smiling through it. Good, she breathes. We stand there for a moment longer, wrapped in quiet understanding. Nothing is magically healed. There will be difficult conversations. There will be moments when doubt resurfaces. Therapy appointments. Hard questions. Transparent phones left face up on tables not because they have to be, but because secrecy no longer belongs here. But something deeper has shifted. The distance that once allowed silence to grow between us is gone. Now there's honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. She intertwines her fingers with mine again, and this time I squeeze back. Not because everything is perfect, but because we're choosing each other fully, with flaws exposed, insecurities acknowledged, and pride set aside. Love didn't survive because it was easy. It survived because we stopped pretending. And for the first time in a long time, when she leans into me, it feels real, not automatic, not assumed. Chosen.